Hello friends, and thanks for joining us here at Non-Toxic Home. Later in this video, we discuss tithing in the end times. We just barely begun scratching the surface at that time in our study, but the discussion is still valuable. With our deeper knowledge now, we now see that tithing is part of the Old Covenant, which Yeshua fulfilled, and we're no longer bound to. Romans chapter 7 verse 6 tells us, "But now we are delivered from the law, that being dead wherein we were held, that we should serve in newness of spirit, not oldness of the letter." When Yeshua discusses tithing, which he does so in Matthew chapter 23, verse 23, Luke chapter 11, verse 42, and Luke chapter 18, verse 12, he curses the tither in all three instances. As we've discussed in multiple videos, please see our Christian Money series videos, the Most High has a lot to say about our attitude towards money. We are to give freely, not tithe per se. Thus, the apostate church teaching is yet another false doctrine that we've discovered. In the new covenant, we're to give freely of our time, our resources, and our money, as the Most High leads us to do. However, the question remains, with an apostate church and almost all charities committing outright abominations under the Lord, who do we give to, and how? Well, that, my friends, is between you and the Most High. He will lead and direct you if you seek his face honestly every day. That's all we have to say about that, but we wanted to speak on that briefly because our understanding has changed in regards to that topic. I hope you enjoy our teaching today, and I hope you learned something from it. Many blessings to you, and thank you for being here. Hello friends, and thank you for joining us again here at Non-Toxic Home. As always, we are delighted that you have blessed us with your presence. We are looking today at two different sections in the Bible, actually more than one. And Isaiah chapter 66 was on my heart to study this Sabbath, which is today right now. And that is where it says, I will choose your delusions. I will choose their delusions. I will bring their fears upon them. And I wanted to do a deep word study on that. And that got us going down a different rabbit hole in Amos, actually, which we will discuss here soon. So first, let's look at Isaiah chapter 66 and reading contextually here, starting at the beginning of the chapter. Thus saith the Lord, the heaven is my throne, and the earth is my footstool. Where is the house that ye build unto me? And where is the place of my rest? For all those things hath mine hand made, and all those things have been, saith the Lord. But to this man will I look, even to him that is poor and of a contrite spirit, and trembleth at my word. Now, contrite means that you have regret and you feel sorrow for your sins and for your transgressions against the Lord, and any offenses that you have caused intentionally to other people that grieves them. He that killeth an ox is as if he slew a man. He that sacrificeth a lamb as if he cut off a dog's neck. He that offereth an oblation as if he offered swine's blood. He that burneth incense as if he blessed an idol. Yea, they have chosen their own ways, and their soul delighteth in their abominations. In this world today, people delight in their abominations. They flaunt them. They have parades for their abominations. They have movies and television shows dedicated, celebrating their abominations.
Yeah, and it sounds a little bit like, to me, that death of an animal is just as valuable to the Lord as the death of a human.
It literally says, he that killeth an ox is as if he slew a man.
Yeah. So that's this world tends to value human life over animal life when the two are.
They both have value. Of course, human life is more valuable than animal life, but animal life clearly has value unto the Lord. They have souls.
Yeah, you're not.
According to the word, they have breath of life.
Yeah.
I also will choose their delusions and will bring their fears upon them. Remember, these are the people who celebrate their abominations. Because when I called, none did answer. When I spake, they did not hear. But they did evil before mine eyes, and chose that in which I delighted not. And we have many videos in which we discuss what most people are doing today, and saying that everyone else should be doing is an abomination unto the Lord. The Bible is very plain. It's very clear. Hear the word of the Lord, ye that tremble at his word. So this is for those people who are not committing abominations unto the Lord. This is for us. This is for us, brethren. Your brethren that hated you, that cast you out for my name's sake, said, let the Lord be glorified. But he shall appear to your joy, and they shall be ashamed. So right now, if you are following the Lord, people are trying to shame you into submission, in committing abominations unto the Lord, and in poisoning his holy temple.
And I will say, from experience of working for clients outside of the home, the best way that you can avoid not working for someone who is going to blatantly make you commit these abominations is to be straight up and honest with them from the beginning. Tell them, I will not do this. If you can respect that, then we can continue.
Yeah.
And you have to be prepared to say no to that. Say no to that account if they don't want to do that. So,
who are you going to serve?
It's part of it.
Who is your master? You can't serve the world and God. You got to choose. So, doing a deep word study just on Isaiah 66, verse 4, which is where it says, I will choose their delusions. Obviously, there's more than one delusion going around, and there is a strong delusion, of course, that is discussed in the New Testament during the end times. Is this the strong delusion? No, I believe that it's probably going to be the alien delusion for multiple reasons, which I won't get into right now. But obviously people are terrified and scared of the fear that has been brought upon them.
Yeah. You can always tell when someone that you're talking to out in the world has just it's not just the face coverings on their faces. You can see fear in people's eyes when they're talking. The things that they're describing to go through, you can just see the fear.
And it's sad. It's so sad to see so many so fearful, so terrified. Some people have literally died from the fear that has been brought upon them. The thing is, according to my Bible, those who are living in this fear are not those who are following my Lord. Mm-mm. Not my Lord. They might be following New Age Jesus or some other fake Jesus, but not my Jesus, because my Jesus is very clear. My Lord and Savior is very clear in his word as to fear, for one. Number one, the fear over and over in the Bible. We're told, don't fear, don't fear, don't fear. And what did churches do? 2020, 2021, they folded up for fear. It's scary. No research, no questioning, nothing. All right, anyways. So obviously, that's one delusion. That's a huge delusion. But it says, I will choose their delusions. Choose means choose or select. It's a careful, well thought out choice. I will choose, carefully select their delusions. Now, in my King James, my 1611 King James, on the side for delusions, it says, or devices. Devices. We got a video up on cell phones because they have big time implications in end times prophecy. Delusions can also mean punishments. I'll choose their punishments, saith the Lord. These are capricious, meaning unpredictable ones. who could possibly have predicted 2020? Well, okay, obviously the Rockefellers did. Obviously the elite did.
Don't think they predicted it, they planned it.
Right.
Big difference.
Right, and Fauci, of course, he warned that was going to happen.
Yeah, they didn't predict anything.
That's
they
true.
planned it.
That's true.
There's a huge difference.
That's very true.
The Most High is the one who predicts things. So he
plans it because he put on the hearts of the evil ones to fulfill his prophecy, just as he did with Pharaoh. All right, so I'll choose their delusions. Unpredictable punishments. These are unpredictable. And I will bring their fears upon them. Bring means bring. Their fears. In this book, the Complete Word Study Dictionary, which I will link to below, I like it. Like it a lot.
And the reason she likes it is because we have now purchased the Complete Word Study on the Old Testament, and that gives her the number to go to the dictionary. She didn't like it before because we didn't have this book here.
Because I thought that I had bought that book instead of the dictionary, but I bought the dictionary, so I completely screwed everything up, and I didn't realize it for like 8 months or something like that. So both books are awesome. I recommend both. We also have the New Testament one that we have used a lot, but we just got the Old Testament one about a week ago, and it's been off gas now. Good stuff. If you're chemically sensitive, I would recommend buying it from, I think it's christianbook.com. That's where I've been getting these books from, and they don't reek like they do from big box stores or other stores.
Very, very small, tiny print, and very, very thin pages, but
very valuable information.
Very good info.
Yes. All right, so I'll choose their delusions. I'll bring their fears upon them. Fears is 4035. It's a feminine noun meaning fear or terror. The use of this word for fear tends to imply the haunting apprehensions that one holds deep within. The Lord's judgments bring people's worst fears to reality, while his love frees us from them. This is why those who are truly of the Lord haven't been operating in fear for the past year and a half. We've been operating in fact and faith. Huge difference, right? Mm-hmm. Huge difference. I am considered to be super, super, super high risk medically. I have not had any fear about it this entire time. Right from the beginning, when they first mentioned stuff, November of 2019, I think it was, they first started talking about stuff. I looked in it and I was like, something's hinky, something's not right. This isn't something for me to worry about. And because I had prayed for discernment. Nobody has discernment hardly anymore. You got to ask for discernment and it will be given to you. All right, I'll choose their delusions. I'll bring their fears upon them. Because when I called, now call means basically call, none did answer. Answer means respond or testify. Hardly anybody's testifying to the truth, the whole truth. There are a lot of people who have little bits and pieces of the truth. Mm-hmm. So many have little bits and pieces, but they don't have the whole picture.
Something that we were talking about earlier, as too far as why people don't have. You have to question everything.
Yes.
If you don't question something, you're not going to dig into it deeper. Mm-hmm. And then you're not going to find out. We've done videos on this, at least one, where we tell you why we changed everything and the deep dive that we did kind of beginning of January of 2020, I think, something like that. Anyway, somewhere around in there. I'm terrible at that, so...
You're terrible at dates.
So we did a deep dive into the basics of following, like, what does God want us to do, and basics, and then we started questioning things in the world too. And when you start questioning things and you start looking beyond the Googles or even the CBSs or anything like that. When you start looking beyond that, just dive in a little bit, you will open your mind to just how deep the rabbit hole goes on delusions in this world.
The level of deception in this world is unbelievable and probably incomprehensible to most of us, including myself. And I have had to look beyond the corporate narrative for many years because of a latex allergy. Latex is toxic. Don't listen to Wikipedia. I have a article on Wikipedia. 8 reasons why you can't trust Wikipedia. So the narrative that we're given for almost everything, just about everything, is a lie. And when we say question everything, we mean everything. We mean that means the Bible. That includes the Bible. That is not exempt, because there are Bible translations from Satanists linked to below to the video on that, because we question that, and obviously there's a reason why the NIV didn't feed my spirit and my soul as it should have when I was younger. Because it was one of Satan's favorite translations. All right, so answer. They did not hear when I called, none did answer. No one responded. No one testified. When I spake, they did not hear. Now here, let me find it here. 8085.
Hey, that's bigger print.
It is.
10 times easier to read.
Yeah. 8085. Listen, understand, obey, not just hearing. You got to do something in response. You got to understand it and obey. Hear intelligently with implication of obedience. Now, looking at this word here was how we ended up in a different rabbit hole in Amos, which we'll get to later, and we might have to do a second video. The Lord was not willing to listen to the beautiful worship services of God's people, for they were not following justice. And then it references Amos 5:23, and it also references Genesis 27 verse 5, but we looked up that verse in Genesis and it's completely irrelevant, so I think there's probably a typo there. And we didn't look for other verses, but we got stuck on Amos because Amos was like, whoa, there's so much information here that's relevant.
I was just going to say, we've done a video previously on how to find a good church and what to look for, those kind of things. This adds to that. Inadvertently, it'll be, like you said, we stumbled down this rabbit hole and we stayed there for a while.
Right. All right, so we will come back once we're finished here with Isaiah to Amos. They did evil before mine eyes. Evil, harm, hurt, affliction, bad, wrong, mischief, wicked, evil thoughts. So it's not even just doing evil, it's thinking evil. Giving pain or causing unhappiness. Now, most church-goers today cause a lot of pain and they have no idea because they're part of the consumption society of more stuff, better looking stuff, shiny stuff, rather than, okay, I got clothes, I got food, I got water, I got shelter, I'm good. Thanks, God. As we are told to be happy, be thou content with food and raiment. Thus saith the Lord. How many Christians, so-called Christians, do you know who would be content with food and raiment? And how many would be content with non-brand name clothing or brand name clothing that had stains or holes in it? Like most of our clothes has stains or holes in it because we work hard. We wear the same thing to do everything.
We do. I put on a fresh pair of clothes every day and take a bath at night, and doesn't matter if I'm resting on a Sabbath day or if I'm digging around in dirt or if I'm building a building or if I'm pruning a bush. Whatever I put on that next day, it's what I'm wearing, and sometimes it looks like we've been making charcoal, and sometimes it doesn't.
Because sometimes we have been making charcoal.
Yep.
I mean, we crawl around on the dirt and in the mud and deal with trees and animal poo and all of these things outside, which is what the Lord gave us to do. That's the work. It's the work of. I mean, obviously, there's other work. That's the work of the Lord, but it's the work of the Lord taking care of the creation that He's given us, and appreciating and being in nature is incredibly healing. He gave it to us for a reason. It's healing for a reason. Mm-hmm. So these people who are going to church and wearing their fancy clothing and their jewelry, they don't think about the diamonds that are blood diamonds. They don't think about their clothing that was made in sweatshops, that's throwing poison, that's poisoning an entire ecosystem in Libya or wherever. They don't think about that. So they're doing evil because they aren't being conscientious about what they're doing, what they're buying, because they're just obeying the mainstream media narrative that says buy, consume. So also, evil means unethical, immoral activity against other people, whether by speech, practice, or by offering improper sacrifices. I thought the improper sacrifices was interesting, because a lot of people for Lent give up various things. Like, I'm giving up eggs for Lent, or cheese, or sugar, or whatever. Okay. This evil is a reason for punishment. Choose. All right. They chose that in which I delighted not. That chose there is the same word as choose earlier. Delighted not means these things are not pleasing to the Lord. They're abominations. They're sin. But hear the word of the Lord, ye that tremble at his word, ye your brethren that hated you, that cast you out for my name's sake. Remember, we're told repeatedly that we will be hated of all nations, and that brother shall turn against brother, child against parents. So those who hate you because you are speaking what this book, shiny.
Yeah, you gotta get closer.
Got glare. Anyways, if you're speaking what the true word of the Lord plainly tells you, you're going to lose friends and family. I've got a video up on losing friends and family in the end times. It's prophesied. It's going to happen to you if you are truly following Yeshua.
And a few more examples of that coming up when we go video number 2 about some things that we were trying to figure out this morning and couldn't think of anything.
What are you talking about?
Tithing.
Oh, tithing. Right. So they will, these people who do not know the Lord, they are fake Christians. They pretend to know Yeshua, but they are not following him at all. They're following New Age Jesus. They're following fake Jesus Christ. They're choosing that in which the Lord does not delight in. They will hate you, but later on, when he appears to your joy, they're going to be ashamed. That's the good news for us.
Yeah, just remember, people, the truth always it always wins in the end. The Bible clearly tells us what the reward is in the end for standing up for the truth, for standing up for Yeshua, for believing in him, for thanking him every day for this beautiful, whatever he has given you, whatever part of this world that he's given you. There's beautiful landscapes everywhere, so it could be anywhere. There's a beautiful reward for just following him, and it's your choice, and it's the first seal that we're in now is about making that choice. It's that's a big part of it. So anyway,
So I will link to that video on the first and second seal, by the way, which is an absolute must watch. You have got to listen to that video because there's so much critical information in it about the times we're living in right now and what's coming next. We did a really deep dive into that. Actually, do you want to go ahead and talk about tithing a little bit? I don't think it was in Amos.
Okay.
And we don't have the verses handy. So, sorry.
Okay, yeah, I can dive into that just a little bit. So there were we had a brief discussion. There were some verses that we were talking about earlier about tithing. So there's kind of two aspects to it. There's what you give, and then there is what the people you give to do with the money. We did a video earlier about how we stopped giving, or we stopped buying things from certain companies because of the things that they were supporting. So if you are giving to a church that is celebrating Christmas, that is celebrating Thanksgiving, any pagan holiday, they're making you 6 feet apart, they're making you come to the altar veiled, any of those things, if you're tithing to those, you are supporting those actions. You're giving them money to spend. Maybe they use it to pay the light bill. You have no idea. You can't know unless you're part of their leadership, which we've got a video on boards and those things. Sorry, a little bit of a soapbox on that. But tithing is about giving to, or it doesn't have to be money even. It can be you give somebody a blanket because they're cold, or because they're a homeless shelter that is helping the poor and homeless. But you have to ask yourself, in these verses that we don't have in front of us, sorry, right. It talks about what the people are doing with...
Sorry.
She's throwing stuff at me. Does that sometimes. Anyway, what the people are... If you're given to a homeless shelter, if you say you give $100 every holiday to the local homeless shelter, are they requiring people to? Are they following CDC guidelines? Are they requiring people to veil up? Are they making you sleep further apart than you normally would? Are you eating 6 feet apart? Are they taking money from government entities? If they are doing any of that stuff, then you are supporting that, regardless of how hard you have worked to not be in mammon. You are supporting that if you give them some. If you give them any money or give them a blanket, anything like that, you are supporting that. It's saying, hey, I agree with what you're doing. Here. It doesn't matter if it's $1. It doesn't matter if it's a blanket. It doesn't matter if it's $1 million. None of that matters. All of that, literally, all of that falls under the same thing in Yeshua's eyes. Just like murder is the same thing to Yeshua as lying.
Sin is sin is sin.
Sin is sin is sin.
Fear. The fearful and the murderers, all at the end, all lumped together.
Yeah. I don't know if she has anything else to say about it. Oh, yeah, okay.
I always got
something. Whoa!
Yeah. I always got something rattling around in this head. All right.
It's big for a reason, people.
Thank you for that.
You're so welcome.
Thank you. So the two verses that we were looking at earlier, one was in Matthew and the other one was in Luke, and they were about the same event, so they were very close in quoting them. But it basically said, and this is a loose quotation because we just read them once, "Woe unto you, ye scribes and Pharisees, who are giving tithes." Okay, so they're giving tithes, which is 10%. They're tithing, but you're missing the big picture. You're missing the part where you got to be righteous and love people. So you're tooting this horn about giving your tithes, which you need to be giving tithes. It's very clear too. It says you need to be doing both. You need to be treating your brother with love and respect and following the law of the Lord, saying you need to do these things, and you need to tithe as well. So our question to ourselves and to the Lord today was, okay, there aren't any churches that we can tithe to. I've looked, I tried, I went to so many churches over so many years. No, they're all an abomination unto the Lord. All right, so that's that. Mm-hmm. So what about other people who are doing videos online? Well, there are very, 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 very few who are not spreading false doctrines. And those who are not spreading false doctrines typically are not looking for money.
Yeah.
So, okay, so there's that. All right, so what about like friends or someone who maybe is suffering who can use some money? Well, we've done that in the past, mm-hmm. and then found out that the friend was not being forthright and transparent with us. We're very transparent, in case you haven't noticed. So that leaves us going, okay, so we were supposed to tithe, I think, but where do we tithe to? Because all the organizations pretty much are evil. If any are veiling people, are buying things for facial veils, then that's an abomination unto the Lord. The Bible's very plain, very clear. So we can't support that. There aren't any churches we can support. So what do we do? Okay, so maybe it's not necessarily in this covenant, in the end times, in these times, maybe it's not necessarily a financial thing, but rather tithing your time and your energy. So we, in case you haven't noticed, are non-toxic home here. And so we've got, well, not very many recipes. That's a terrible example. But we've got many articles, very deep dives into things like activated charcoal, which I'll link to that one. Paint. I cannot recommend a paint to you besides making your own stinking paint because they're all toxic. I'll link to that article. I did a super deep dive into paint. All the paint on the market is toxic. All of it. Because if it doesn't have petrochemicals in it, then it has natural rubber latex in it, and natural rubber latex is toxic. It is not safe. And of course, I've got tons of articles up, and we've got some videos up on latex and latex allergy and avoiding latex and all those things as well. So, and then we have the weekly newsletter, which, by the way, please give this video a thumbs up wherever you're watching it, and subscribe to our weekly newsletter. It's free, of course. It goes out Saturday mornings at 7:30. Be sure to add help at non-toxic-home.org to your contact list so that you get it. And so and these videos, that's our tithe. Yeah. Is that the right thing? What else are we going to do?
I mean,
we do give things when people need things. Like we had a tin we needed to make charcoal for someone who needed water. And so I sanded one of my tins. They cost like $10 or so. I get them from Uline, by the way. I highly recommend, if you're chemically sensitive, ordering things on Uline. It's more expensive, but it isn't going to reek. And so I buy a lot of things from Uline. If they have it, I buy it from there. But they don't have paper, which is weird.
So,
anyways, so we give as we can, as the need arises, as things come up like that.
And if you have questions, obviously you can go on our newsletter and respond to that. And I think she said one time that the blog was the easiest way to reach her. But we answer those questions without asking for anything. Yeah. Sometimes those questions, there's a contract that comes up down the line because there's a bigger need. But that's...
Yeah, sometimes someone wants a consultation, needs a consultation. Sometimes they need something more intense than a couple or a question answered. We get questions a lot of times like, hey, I looking at these headphones and the information on the website says that it's from 2011. What do you think about that? And so I take the time and I answer it. Whether or not I have a post up on it that I link to and then add some more information or not, that is our tithe right now.
So we don't ask for this. We don't do this very often at all. This is actually the first time I've ever done this. But if you guys can think of any ideas that fall under the very specific guidelines that we've given, which is what Yeshua has given, if we're not thinking of something, help us out. Give us send us an email, give us an idea, because we've tried to help friends. We've tried. We've literally offered employment to people, and
that has not gone well.
That has not gone. And we're not that hard to deal with.
We are so laid back.
No cell phones, no smoking, and follow our directions.
And please don't make us have to repeat ourselves 10 times in one day.
And don't misrepresent yourself.
Yeah.
If you want to tell us you're an idiot, and please hire me, because I'm a motivated idiot. I don't know anything, but I'm motivated. I know because a dude told me he was an idiot that I'm going to be answering the same questions over and over, because that's
right.
It's kind of the definition.
Right.
I'm not that smart, so I still need a job, and I promise to play by your rules.
Right.
Which they're simple. We've done those things. So I'm asking you guys to help us out. Make sure that we're thinking along the right lines here.
Do you have any other ideas for tithing? Because we would, like I said, there are some people who are putting out some good content, but at the same time, they're also putting out content with blatant false doctrines, so obvious, wow, about the Nephilim. That's from Enoch. See my video on Enoch, which I'll link to below. Enoch made me vomit. Literally, I read it and it made me vomit, because you can't have Enoch and the canon. You got to pick one or the other. We're kind of just stuck. We think we're doing the right thing, but if you have any other ideas, don't drop a comment. Well, if you want to drop a comment on the videos, that's totally cool, but either leave it on the blog post or send us an email, because otherwise we won't get it, because we're not able to monitor the other streaming platforms.
Yeah. The one guy that we would send money to has asked us not to, or said he doesn't want any.
Yeah, he said that God provides for him. And
Paul Sandu is the guy we're talking about. We're still recommending his stuff because he's still recommendable.
I've never seen anything from him that is a false doctrine. And yeah, he screws up sometimes. So do we. Hi, we're
Hello.
human.
What's up?
Human. We're human. That's what humans do. We make mistakes, and then we recognize that we made a mistake and usually say so in a video. Yeah. Or I say it in the comment below a video that, hey, this isn't what I meant. Sorry.
Whoopsies.
Yeah. All right, so I think we're probably going to work on the Amos topic in the next video.
Yep.
This is what we're going to work on is Amos chapter 5, and then we're also going to read in Isaiah and in Jeremiah in it, and we're going to talk about Saturn and Saturnalia and the black cube thing and Moloch and Kayun and captivity, and it's going to be a huge big thing, and it's going to blow your mind. So please check back. Be sure, if you are on a video streaming platform, to ring the bell. If you are watching this on YouTube, which this video thus far we can post on YouTube, please.
I wasn't sure, so
yes.
I filtered my comments.
Right.
We didn't talk about
right,
that.
Right. So if you're watching this on YouTube, please go look below, subscribe on Odyssey, Rumble, Our Freedom Tube, and or BitChute, and ring the bell. Because on YouTube, people have been getting unsubscribed since the beginning of time for us on YouTube, but also we can't post a lot of videos on YouTube. We have a series on Pharmakeia, which is so important, but I can't post it on YouTube because we'll end up deleted off of YouTube if I put it on YouTube.
Sorry, I was noticing our light was flashing. That was weird.
Oh, well, that's just because of the darkness from the rain coming?
No, there's light in our video. Our actual physical light.
Oh.
The rain wouldn't have anything to do with that.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
Just seeing that video.
Gnat.
No, not a gnat.
Distractible. Okay. Anyways, please like, subscribe, share. We really appreciate it when you share our videos and our content because that helps a lot. Thank you so much for being here. Be sure to tune in next time when we talk about Amos and all the black cube and Saturn and Satan and all of these crazy things because there's some really important information in it.
You don't see that?
I'm not watching it.
Okay. Sorry.
Thank you for being here.
I love you. Non-toxic out.